What did he find? What did he find? Oh my gosh, it's a thrifty find. Welcome to another episode of Tom's Thrifty Finds.
Today,
We're talking this thing. Oh yeah, what is this? You may have seen it on the internet. It's a mystery to everyone. Listen, I'm gonna tell you all about it. So you may have seen these on the interwebs. This is actually a napkin holder, if you couldn't tell. It has some really unique art style. It has a very pixelated style, if you're familiar with that term. Kind of like an Atari vibe. It actually is missing another sheet of plastic that goes inside of these, so it's not transparent. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that when I bought it, but, you know, still pretty neat. From the bottom of it, this is from St. Labre Indian School, Ashland, Montana. So these were actually given out as gifts for donors. So the founding of the St. Labre Indian School was in 1884. It was one of the first efforts to care for Native Americans who had been displaced as a result of homesteading. George Yocom, a former soldier who had been stationed near Miles City, Montana, realized this, and he contacted Bishop John Brondell and told him of the Indian people who were roaming the Tongue River without homes or land. So this guy, he made an initiative to try to help these people. A reservation had not yet been set aside for them. Land was later purchased by the bishop, and on March 29th, 1884, St. Labre Indian School became a reality. Woo! But unfortunately, down the road, they started to see some hardships. Due to lack of funds, the school came close to closing, and in 1954, there were only 64 children enrolled in the school. But a lot of the people in the community started to come together and make donations to help the school out. 1965, St. Labre Indian School extended support to the Crow Indian Reservation, and this resulted in them being able to make more campuses. So St. Labre Indian School in general is a school that kind of helps people out, takes in children who have possibly came from bad situations. So it's a nice little school. So today they have preschool to high school, and they have nearly 750 children enrolled. So it went from back in the 50s, 60s, they had less than 100 children enrolled. Now they have over 700, almost 800 children enrolled. So it's thriving now, and thanks to the donors and the community, they were able to thrive. So it's a nice little story. And this is one of the pieces to come about that. And typically this was in a set. This came with salt and pepper shaker, toothpick holder. There was also little statue figurines, a teepee. This must have been from the 80s. I'm not exactly sure the date. 70s or 80s. It has that kind of vibe to it. And on that subject, I also have a bonus. Jerry, would you please roll that footage? Today's bonus is this hat from the town I grew up in, Narragansett, Rhode Island. It was named obviously after Indian tribe. Yeah, cool little hats my dad gave me. This has got to be from the late 80s, 90s. I moved there in the 80s, so yeah, it's a cool little hat. There's not much to say about it. I mean, it's corduroy. It's got that. You don't see many corduroy hats these days. So Jerry cut. Not too much else to say about it. They're all over the internet, so they're pretty easy to find. I don't really see many of them actually selling. I didn't really see any live auctions. So it's one of those items that's probably cooler to find in the wild, unless you really want it. You really want the set. You probably get the set for under $20. And yeah, so if it really catches your eye, it's got that cool Oregon Trail vibe to it. I can put my napkins, I can put my envelopes. I can sit and collect dust on my shelf. I can put Link in it. Do 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 do. Do do do. Do 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 do. Thrifty, thrifty, Tom's thrifty finds. What'll he find next? I don't know. Guess you'll just have to watch the next show. Tom's thrifty finds. Doo-doo. Yeah.